Hello and welcome. Today, I'm going to be playing the demo of Call Me Under. I believe that it's a choice-based game. And this is a demo that I've downloaded a while ago and just haven't gotten around to playing it. So today we're going to check it out and see what we think.
The beginning was bathed in darkness. The beginning was darkness.
Okay.
Its form and its home, the most basic state of being. The inkwell from which flesh was shaped, minds were made, and dreams were born.
I have no idea where this is going.
We began.
I don't remember why I downloaded this.
They nourished us, caressed us, gave us life. But greedy hearts demanded more. Separation. Independence, a self free from the roots, colors split from the inkwell, and a new perspective, a new meaning was born. And so began the tale of our creator's downfall.
This is dark,
But
very
I'm sure
dark.
you know that already, right? How the skies formed their legions and drove the shadows to the bottom of the dark and terrible ocean. Such a simple fable. A great and uncomplicated way to explain the universe to young, impressionable minds. Tell me, do they recount this tale with your bedside lamp turned on, so you don't feel the fear creeping in?
What
Do
is
they
this
make
game
the
about?
monsters with their hands in that light, so you know that there's nothing in the darkness but evil? Have you ever felt just that tiny sliver of doubt that maybe they lied?
Okay, I don't know anything just yet, but I'm into that intro. Character select. Oh, well, I have to pick the human. Okay. Having recently arrived from the surface, you find yourself thrust into the capable hands and employment of Penelope Sinclair, editor of the Styx journal, but most significantly, leader of Scott and Sinclair investigations. Okay. Your past is shady, but your convictions are nothing but a memory here in Styx. Call it a much-needed new beginning, if you will. A second chance to start somewhere fresh where nobody knows your name. You have a job, a place to live, and a host of shit that's about to be thrown into your lap. Here's hoping your sea legs are steady because life is about to get real choppy. Settling into a new city could be real headache. Okay. Tell us your first name. Liv. Your surname? I don't really want to use my real last name, so I'll just go with Bean. Oh, thanks for asking. Even though I'm pretty sure my last name is on my YouTube channel, but whatever. Oh, is there no voice acting other than that? The incessant tap, tap, tap of the typewriter's mechanical keys beneath my fingertips is the only thing keeping me awake tonight. That and the stench of smoke and booze wafting from Penny's office. Ooh, it's only 7. She'll have one hell of a hangover tomorrow. Again. I sigh and glare at the fresh sheet before me. I'm only a sentence in, ooh. And it's already nonsense. I angrily yank it at the roller and tap on it, the arms whirling against the inky black ribbon. It's gonna be a late one. I sit back and stare at the words on the page, words I've seen typed out by my and many others' hand too many times to count in the short time I've been here. Missing, kidnapped, presumed dead, dismembered. What is this game? I hear a low whistle and turn to find Penny staring at me, sticking her head around the door frame. Hey, you done yet? Does it look like I'm done? I don't have all night, you know. I thought you were supposed to be fast. I'm on it. Only one more section to type up. Is that true? She rolls her eyes and disappears back into Scott and Sinclair investigations. Penny is the editor of the Styx Journal and also a private investigator when night falls. She's relentless and brilliant, but she's hard to read and an alcoholic. Her work partner, Annie Scott, is one of the many citizens of Styx who went missing recently, and I don't think Penny has slept since. And it looks like I'll be joining her with the amount of work I've got on my plate. Okay, Penny and Scott run this place. Or Penny and Annie. I didn't think that taking a job at a newspaper would end up with me elbow deep in murder cases and disappearances, but hey, wherever the tides take me. I press play on the tape recorder and get ready to type. But what did you see? You say you blacked out after she was taken. You must have caught a look at the guy's face. That's the thing, though. That wasn't no guy. Wasn't no human. Okay. Yeah, you said that already, but it isn't like we've got... But it isn't like we have much in the way of humans down here, so help me out. Be more specific. It wasn't one of them, either. It was... I quickly stopped the tape and watched the water in my glass ripple, the whole room trembling. I grip the edge of this desk to steady myself, but it stops after a few seconds, still long enough to throw me off. Another quake, the second today. Is it me, or did that one feel more violent? I turn and find Penny tugging on her coat, a cigarette hanging haphazardly between her lips. I don't see it. She's laden with case files as usual, and I idly wonder if this woman ever quits. She doesn't seem too bothered by the fact that the ocean is shaking us like fish in a bowl, but then I guess that's exactly what we are. Should I be concerned? Nah, don't fret. She waves me off as she breezes over to my desk and yanks the paper free from the typewriter, squinting at it and sighing when she sees it isn't done. It's been a minute! But she adds to the messy pile she has hitched under her arm anyway. These things happen. It's just the nature of Styx, my friend. You'll get used to it. Now go home, get some rest, alright? I need you here bright and early tomorrow. And, oh. Lock up for me, would you? She doesn't wait for me to respond. The front door swiftly slams shut behind her. I rub my eyes, and will the tiredness that blurs the edges of my vision to disappear. I just want to get through this damn interview so I can go home. And hopefully not get murdered. Then, it happens again. Shake, rattle, roll, another quake. This time, it's vicious. No gentle warning or soft rumble. Just full bore, lights swinging, shit falling to the floor and cracking against the linoleum, books falling from the shelves. My desk jumps across the room like it has a mind of its own. Fear consumes me, and I launch myself from my chair, stumbling towards the door and reaching for the handle like a lifeline. I tear it open, the walls screaming around me, the roar of what sounds like thunder rattling in my ears. I escape into the atrium, and my eyes fall upon chaos. Hordes of people run from the surrounding businesses, bars, lounges. There's a stampede coursing across the main floor, and all I can think of is that I can't believe I've only been here a few weeks, and here I am, watching it all fucking end. That's when the screaming begins. At first, I think the sound might be coming from me, but the chorus of wailing that fills my head can't possibly be human. It sounds like a wounded animal. A death knell. It chills me to my core and leaves the hairs on my arms and the back of my neck standing to attention. Saluting whether terrible thing is making the damn noise. I close my hands over my ears and try to shut it out. Try to push forward and get the hell out of here. I look up, I run, and notice that the glass that encases us is holding, so at least today might not be the day I die a watery death, but then. It chills me. Oh, I accidentally scrolled. Okay, you could do that instead of clicking. It chills me to my core and leaves the hairs on my arms and the back of my neck. Oh, wait. I just read that. Oh, I scrolled too much. A flash. A violent, blinding light, the edges of my vision blurry, shifting. And then everything goes quiet, not a sound, not a whisper. I stand still and close my eyes tight enough that it hurts, pain blooming right behind my eyelids. Next come the voices. Voices that aren't mine, voices that echo and shift, a terrible cacophony of crying, wailing, laughing. Then my mind fills with the vision of a face. Okay. blue eyes, hair as black as the night. He stares down at his hands, and every inch of them is painted a terrible and unmistakably crimson. They shake, his long fingers tremble, and he drops them to his side in what looks like defeat. He doesn't look defeated. Then he's looking right at me. He is. He sees me. I snap back into the waking world with a painful jolt. My temples throbbing, and then comes total silence. Oh! It's a vision. Clarity. The calm after a terrible storm. I look around, and my vision is clear again. No blurring, no bloodied strangers staring directly into my soul. I take a deep breath and shake my head, blinking myself free of whatever that was, and I look down just to check that I'm still whole. Something catches my eye. A flash of red in the neon lights. I look down at my hands and find them covered in blood! What the? That's when everything turns to black. I wake early and I don't remember how I got home, but I do know that my sleep was fitful and plagued with nightmares. Nightmares of bloodied palms, of unfamiliar faces, of the sounds of something dark and terrible calling out to me. It's a wonderful day here in Styx. What a transition. The streets are bustling and alive with citizens going about their day even at this horrendously early hour, and yet everything, unsurprisingly, feels a little off. I still can't recall how I got home last night, but I do remember standing at this very spot and having what I can only assume was a total mental breakdown. I look down at my hands and find them clean, much to my relief. It's only the 20th time I've checked since I woke up with the world's most horrific headache that just won't seem to quit, and a terrible feeling that there's something seriously going on inside this brain of mine. Feeling myself, I look down at the address that I tore from a notice board outside the Vanguard Lounge yesterday morning after it caught my eye, which seems kind of like a sign right now. As if I anticipated something like this would happen without realizing it. We will maintain your discretion with utmost care for proportional payment. Sure. He sounds legit, right? After the night I had, I can't say I'm in the position to be too picky with finding the right practitioner. Discretion is highly desired. I'm not about to draw too much attention to myself when I'm fresh off the submarine. And so, into the depths of asphodel? We'll go with that. I go. This is very interesting. And now I have an unbearable headache still. He looks like... Who's that character from Archer? He looks like a more handsome, what's a dorky guy? I can't think of his name. Call me Archie. Nods his eyes, still firmly fixed upon the clipboard in his lap. He's writing, but I don't know whether he's writing something related to me or if he's just, I don't know, doodling flowers or whatever. I don't have the energy to care, and my patience is wearing thin with every pulse of my heartbeat, which sends a throbbing lance of pain through my temples. It feels worse than if someone had decided to stuff cotton in my brain like a sponge with a giant, merciless hand squeezing it over and over again. That's a very specific visual. Cyril! His name is Cyril. He looks like Cyril from Archer. But I've paid to be here, and there's a shelf of interesting bottles filled with questionable things staring at me behind Dr. Tsushita's beautiful office desk. I guess I'd better behave long enough for him to give me something for this pain, then I could get out of here. This is a nice office, too. He's already apologized profusely because his clinical downstairs is undergoing renovation, so he has to see me up here, but you won't find me complaining about sitting on fine leather. And you hadn't been drinking. I didn't last night, no. Though I considered it this morning, if your office hadn't been hard to find, I might have slipped into... What's with these words? Leaves and taken my chances with a whiskey bottle instead. Why do you think I picked this spot for the clinic? I snorted reflexively, then squeezed my eyes shut when my head throbs again. This is getting annoying. Dr. Tsushita is getting out of his plush chair, and as I hoped he would, he opens a cabinet full of mystery bottles, takes out a few, then rummages for something from another lower shelf. With a questionable smile, he hands me a shot glass full of some vicious-looking, luminous green liquid. How bad is this gonna hurt? Don't suppose you'd serve this in a prettier glass? Let's ask how it's gonna hurt. At least I finally got to make a choice. I grimace at the offering. In my experience, the nasty stuff always works the best, and this definitely fits the bill. But can I trust this guy? We're here. How bad is this gonna hurt? After the first 3 or so seconds, you'll see that it's worth it. Well, then, cheers. I take a deep breath, brace myself, then knock it back in one. It's bitter. It doesn't burn, but I might have preferred that to the horrendous taste slithering down my throat. I slam the shot glass down on the desk and gesture desperately for anything else to drink. Archie thrusts a glass of water into my hands. Is he smirking? Am I about to die? The water thankfully washes the horrific aftertaste out of my mouth. See? 3 seconds, like I said. Felt much longer than that. My head is also still throbbing dully, now with the added effects of ringing ears, extra misery of having ingested something that nasty. The bottle of whiskey I've been daydreaming about is feeling less like a treat and more like a necessity at this point. It was 3 seconds. Don't worry, I counted. He cheerfully takes the water from my hands and nudges me to relax in the admittedly very comfortable chair. His smile... Beatific? Oh, God, I am terrible at words and strangely reassuring. Now, since you took it orally, it's going to require a little while to fully take offense. What? You could have injected it? Does that mean I get to fall asleep because I could do with the rest? No. Then why do you give your patient such an inviting chair? Usually I don't. The chair is for personal guests. I suppose getting my clinic wrecked by ungrateful bastards does benefit some. You're the 5th person to comment about that chair. You get that many patients? He sighs deeply. Probably too many. Others are also happy to just pay me a fee and talk my ear off. Then I'd say you're doing a nice job stealing the bartender's business from down the street. Don't tell him that, or I have no doubt my tab will find itself inflating mysteriously. Oh, and since you're here, Archie ducks behind his desk, emerging a moment later with what looks like a stack of tapes. Suddenly, I have a feeling. You are the Liv Bean, correct? Penny's new recruit? Does Miss Sinclair know everybody in the city? If she does, I wouldn't be surprised, but she did tell me specifically that her new hire is going to help her transcribe some important tapes I promised her. I would have stopped by to deliver them myself this morning, but here I am, held up with a patient complaining of a headache. Talk about lucking out, huh? I hold out my hand for the tapes, but Archie tuts and shakes his head. He opens a different cabinet in the room, pulls out a roll of twine, and then starts sorting through the tapes and tying them together. Were they all just in a pile in your drawer until this morning, or did you forget to finish the final step? A terrible headache of yours must have gone away by now with all of that sass out of your mouth. Fair. And it's then that I realized that it has, actually. Not completely, but the discomfort is so minimal that I don't notice much of anything aside from the fact my head feels weirdly heavy. Like it's full of secrets or something. Dr. Tsuchiya? Archie. Archie. Do you know anything about the murders and disappearances? Archie says nothing. He finishes tying up the tapes in a neat pile and then produces a brown paper bag to drop them into. He hands it to me. Sketchy! No, I don't, and it bothers me a great deal. Now go home. Rest up. I smile wryly. Not likely after you've dropped all this work into my lap. Just tell Penny it's doctor's orders that you get some rest. She can take it up with me if she feels like it. It's been a long while since I've seen her anyway. Right, thanks. See you around, I guess. Not if you're lucky. I have a weird feeling in my gut that I won't be lucky, that I'll be seeing more of Dr. Tsuchiya. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Before I head back to the office, I get a weird desire to check out that strange little shop that caught my eye more than a few times since I landed here. Nestled between Tyke's Luck Casino and a beauty salon sits the Killing Moon, its colorful window full of charms, oddities, and multiple posters insisting that the incredible Eve can tell me my fortune and what I ate for breakfast. I wonder if this Eve could offer me a little insight into what the hell is going on in this head of mine. I lean and take a closer look at one of those posters. Okay. Interesting. Well, I guess it can't hurt to try, right? Don't we have to go to work? Our boss said be early. Oh well. The bell above the door jingles quietly as I step inside, and I immediately hit with the overpowering smell of incense and a maelstrom of scented candles. Strange music plays on the record player that sits in the corner, and the shop appears totally vacant. I peruse the shelves and run a finger over the jagged pointed of a crystal, leaning in to stare at the whirls of different purples. You're a curiosity, aren't you? You're a curiosity, aren't you? Whatever. A more precious bauble than any in this shop, and look, the tides have washed you right in. I turn quickly and watch as a fiery-haired wisp of a human in a lace gown, the same color as the pale skin approaches, from where I'm not entirely sure. Amethyst. Excellent for migraines and nausea. They reach for the crystal and cradle it in their palm, closing their eyes, their copper lashes fluttering. It almost looks like they're whispering to it. Right. Hey, Eve. You okay there? Another customer approaches. Their golden eyes flicker between this Eve and myself curiously. They offer me a lopsided smile, one that looks almost apologetic. Eve exhales sharply and opens their eyes. Oh, Adrian! They turn to me and eagerly press the crystal into my hands. Forgive me, sometimes I get a little carried away. The other customer laughs awkwardly, still apparently trying to break the weird tension that seems to be sucking the life out of the room. And then Eve sets their sights on them. One moment. Eve scans the shelves, their hands in the air, as if asking for silence, and they laugh wickedly when they apparently spot what they were searching for. They shove a crystal at the other customer's chest. This is lavender and gold. Ametrine for clarity, good for scaring away procrastination, and they sniff the air. Other unsavory things. The golden-eyed stranger's cheeks flare pink, and they laugh nervously, looking anywhere other than at myself or Eve. They reach into the bag and retrieve a wad of money. They wave at Eve, apparently eager to give it to the over-curious shopkeeper to shut them up. I think I might do the same. As Eve quickly disappears behind the cash desk. I was like, there's no way they call it a cash deck. The stranger turns to me and scrambles to hold the ridiculously oversized crystal in one hand, offering me the other. I'm Adrian. Sorry about that. Well, them. They're sweet. They're just a little intense, you know? Yeah, I got that. So are you new around here? That obvious? Adrian shrugs sheepishly. Anyway, here lies your first lesson. Eve will sell you a crystal that costs a week's rent, and all it'll do is give you hives. You can't trust a soul around here, especially not when they smile at you. Then, completely lacking any irony, Adrian offers me a huge, sharp-toothed grin. Before I can reply, Eve loudly clears their throat, their eyes widening when they both turn to stare at them. Adrian clears their throat and glances down at the crystal Eve deposited it in their palm. Clarity, you said. Eve nods enthusiastically, their skinny fingers clasped as if they're about to drop their knees and pray. Have a strange sense that you might need some. Yes? Adrian exhales, glancing out into the atrium almost wistfully. They smile as they deposit their money upon the counter, but that smile doesn't reach their eyes. I think you might be right, yeah? Eve looks at me expectantly. And you? I don't want to buy the fucking crystal. I offer them a sorry smile, as genuine as I can muster. I'm really tight for cash right now, just got into the city and all, but thank you, maybe some other time. She is not happy. Eve shakes her head and refuses to accept the crystal when I try to give it back to them. Aha, I insist you take it as a welcome gift, new friend. I really don't. I insist! Something about the way they smile at me tells me I won't win this one. Well, thank you, Eve. I'm sure it'll brighten up your place, right? I nod and smile again, and Adrian is clearly just playing along, as regretful of their new unwanted item as I am, it would appear. Oh, we didn't catch your name. It's Liv. Eve shakes the hand I offer them, with both of theirs smiling sweetly until they're not. They pull away quickly, almost as if I shock them, their skin turning a shade paler. They glance at Adrian for a split second before they compose themselves and offer an obvious forced smile. It shakes at the edges. Right, well, it's very nice to meet you, Liv. Something tells me it wasn't. Now please excuse me, I have a reading in a moment, so I need to go prepare it. The spirits won't talk to themselves. They wave once, and then they're gone. The curtain that separates the shop from the back room, swishing violently. Huh, that was weird. I raise a brow at them. Weirder than usual. Glad I'm not the only one who noticed. I better dash too, nothing personal, I just have to get to work. It was a pleasure to meet you, Liv, really. And if you're ever in my neck of the water, then stop by my studio sometime. I'm always looking for faces to paint. Their cheeks flush as they hand me a small business card. Sure. An artist, huh? You flatter me. Adrian shrugs and tucks a strand of their long hair behind their ear, heading for the door. Always nice to make new friends, right? Styx is a big place distinctly lacking honest folks, and something about you tells me you're one of the good ones. So stop by sometime. See you around. I wave and watch them go, standing in the middle of the killing moon, feeling heavier than I did before I entered, Crystal notwithstanding. When I walk into the office, I find Penny sitting at my desk. She glares at me over the top of her typewriter, her eyes glued to me as I make my way to the desk and deposit the bag of Archie's tapes in front of her. A lot of reading. This better be good. Consider you've been gone for almost half of your shift. I can't promise it'll be good, but they're from Dr. Sushida. He said he was planning on dropping them by. Penny's blue eyes light up, and she eagerly dips a hand inside the bag, counting the contents with a growing smile. That son of a bitch. I knew he'd come through. While she's occupied with whatever juicy content Archie was supposedly provided us, I notice a new pursing poster has been added to the case board. My heart sinks when I look at the grainy picture of that face. I reach out unconsciously, almost as if compelled, and feel sickness coiling in my gut, like I know this man, like he means something, but I've never seen him before. Of that much, I'm sure. Not in a way that would make me feel like this anyway. Oh yeah, I need to brief you on this one. Penny's voice snaps me from my daze, and she flicks the poster, leaning against the board with a resigned sigh. His name is Egan Castor. His brother came to my apartment after the quake in a mad panic. Apparently, he disappeared last night under suspicious circumstances. But that's all I managed to get out of the crazy bastard before he ran off. Men. I stare at her, not quite able to bring myself to respond. The face on the poster is still drawing me in, urging me to look. Penny tilts her head curiously and frowns at me. Earth to live, you alright there, champ? You look a little peaky. I nod vacantly, plastering a smile across my lips. I just had a bad night. No sleep, headache, must have been the quake. There were like 4 of them. Huh, yeah, you're still adjusting, I suppose. Anyway, let me tell you about this Castor guy. Get your typing fingers ready, it's a long story. I dutifully take my seat at my desk, slipping a fresh piece of paper between the rollers, and for the next 2 hours, Penny recounts the tale of Blue and Edgar Castor, and why the latter, going missing, holds some degree of significance in the long and winding web that Styx seems to be weaving around us. I'm gonna need a drink. My character is also an alcoholic. Oh, here we are. Didn't take much for Penny to persuade me to join her in the nightly journey to the Vanguard, her arms once again laden with case files and paperwork. This woman never quits. Although I find myself with a pile of my own tonight, both of us sit at the bar, paper strewn out in front of us, while the cute blonde bartender keeps her glasses full. The lounge is packed, the air thick with the layer of smoke, like it has its very own atmosphere. I still don't know if I believe that he's missing. If you meet his brother, you'll understand why. I'd want to get the hell away from him too. But you said they seem close, so why would he just disappear with no good reason? Penny shrugs and stubs her cigarette out in the ashtray before her, quickly lighting another one. I guess that's for you to find out, huh? She smiles and exhales, the smoke hitting my face. That is rude. Right. Then the lights dim and a single spotlight illuminates the stage at the far end of the lounge, a figure appearing in its bright, unforgiving beam. The music swells, a cool, lazy rhythm. Something that'd lure you to sleep if you weren't hopped up on the thrill of simply being here. Even under the thrum of the bass, I hear Penny's breath hitch. Heck, mine does too, because the silhouette is a damn fine one. All dangerous curves and a walk that tells you that whoever it is knows their appeal and how to work it. I lean in to whisper in Penny's ear, my eyes still on the stage. Who is that? She swats me away without so much as offering me a glance, totally fixated. This is so gay. Shh, no talking. And then the songbird begins to sing. I am not singing this. Red lips, tight curls, and eyes as gold as the sun, and that voice. Oh, just kidding, that wasn't a song lyric. Like honey, dripping and smooth. She's compelling enough to make me believe she's singing about me, for me, and only me. This is really gay. Like it. I like it. With the way everyone else in the room is staring at her, I gather they feel the same. Man, no song. To say I'm transfixed would be an understatement. Though something swiftly pulls me from my daze, a terrible chill rolls down my spine, a full body shudder that has goose flesh prickling up my skin. Never heard that phrase before. I feel the same way I did last night, like I'm about to get lost in a dream. Vision? Whatever the fuck that was. Then I see him. Him, the mystery man, bringer of the world's biggest pain in the ass of a migraine. He stands at the opposite end of the bar, all tall and looming. Maybe he's a witch, something haunting and dark, a creature like the ones that wander Styx at night if you get too close to the shadows. The bluest eyes I've ever seen focus in on me, like he's heard everything I'm thinking about him. He scowls at me from behind a curtain of ink-black hair, and I can hear my own heartbeat rushing in my ears, the music and the songbird's voice a mere echo. Like I'm underwater, but in a more literal sense, because you're already underwater. The shadow man narrows his eyes, and I decide there's nothing... That's not what it says. The shadow man narrows his eyes, and I decide there's definitely something other about him. Something both missing and too much to fathom. He averts his gaze quickly, like he's being shocked out of a little staring contest, and the room seems to shudder, my ears popping, and then everything is back to normal. Only then do I register, Penny snapping her fingers in front of my face, and if a looks could kill... Hey, you drunk already or something? I shake my head because my tongue feels too heavy for me to form words, and Penny simply sighs, resigning herself to the fact that I am a terrible company, I assume. I'd feel bad if it wasn't for the existential crisis I seem to be having. Penny suddenly stiffens beside me, her back going ramrod straight, and her unlit cigarette almost falling from between her lips. She scrambles to catch it, and I hear a husky laugh right behind me. Penny looks up. Her eyes are wide, and her cheeks beat red. Fuck. This is gay. I turn to find the culprit, the one who apparently has the ability to render my usually unshakable boss useless. And there stands the songbird, even more beautiful up close. Oh my god. Penelope, I see you've brought the office here with you as always. Should you really be drinking on the job? Penny merely scowls and angrily fumbles for her lighter, refraining from responding. The songbird simply sighs, shrugging at me with pursed lips like she used to do this kind of reception. And who is this? Another of Miss Sinclair's victims? Her perfect red lips curl up the corners as she offers me a hand. Penny swears quietly under her breath and finally gets a flame out of the lighter, her relief apparent. I guess I am, yeah. I should probably bite my tongue, but this woman appears to be eager to tease, and I'm all aboard the particular train. Especially if it makes Penny blush like that again. What is... Yay. Liv Bean, and I guess you could say I'm her victim, yeah. Not happy with me? Very happy with me. The songbird laughs heartedly and takes my hand, shaking it firmly. That's the spirit. Glad to see she finally found someone with a sense of humor. I'm Callie Seymour. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Liv. Likewise. Screw you both. Callie lays it on thick and pouts, fluttering her lashes at Penny. Oh, come on now. Don't be like that, sweetheart. Actually need to steal away your boss, Liv. I hope you don't mind, but it's a private matter. How private are we talking? You said that the last time I talked my ear off about your bass player cheating on his wife for an hour. Time is money, Calliope. Don't give me that shit, Pen. I have solid information. Is that intriguing enough to make me take up your oh-so-precious time worthwhile? Penny clears her throat and begins to gather up the papers she earlier strewn across the countertop, stuffing them back into the files and then under her arm. She stands, throwing me an apologetic glance. Call it a night. I need you in early tomorrow to make up for the time we lost today, alright? Sure thing, boss. Probably not gonna show up. Feel that already. She actually smiles at that, and I feel like I got awarded a gold star. A for effort, but then she inhales sharply and squares her shoulders, her gaze meeting Callie's as she pushes past me. 30 minutes max. I need an early night too. Ha! That's rich. And then Penny is off, pushing through the crowd, heading who knows where. Callie huffs and begins to follow her on towering red heels, but she stops, spins, and offers me a polite wave and wink. It's nice to meet you. Before I get the chance to respond, they're both gone, engulfed by the sea of swaying people. It's then that I feel the shift again, eyes on me, staring, burning to the back of my head. I turn slowly, an attempt at being subtle, I suppose, but something tells me the Shadow Man is expecting my attention. Sure enough, he's looking right at me when I find him at the opposite end of the bar. He still has his coat on and clutches an almost empty drink like a lifeline. I slide into the empty seat beside him. My temples ache, but I put it down to a long day and the fact that the atmosphere in here is at least 80% cigarette smoke.
You know, I'm having kind of a bad day.
He's the only one in this game that talks? Are you serious? He laughs bitterly and lifts his tumbler, squinting as he glares through an amber liquid.
Well, weak.
He slams it back, finishing the drink in one. He places the glass on the bar with a loud slam, his knuckles bleeding white as he grips it like he means to break it.
So tell me, what exactly do you want? I keep catching you staring, and I'm not looking for any company tonight, if that's what you seek.
It isn't every day you see a guy in a painful, seemingly pathetic vision. Prophetic? And then suddenly, he's real and sitting right in front of you. Shame, he seems like kind of an asshole. I clear my throat, and the weight of his glare is heavy enough to make my skin crawl. I saw you yesterday. He raises a brow at me and then laughs, a dark chuckle.
I don't think you did. I was a little preoccupied.
His words drip with disdain, and the bartender walks over to us, bottle in hand. He refills Shadow Man's tumbler with a healthy dose of whiskey without question.
Where exactly was this apparent sighting?
I grimace. Well, it's complicated. He's frowning now, his expression cold enough to chill me to the bone. That's when I know it has to be him. It's those eyes, like there's nothing behind them. I lean in close and drop my voice. The quake. While it was happening, I had a vision or something. He sits a little straighter, clears his throat, his head flipping around to see if anyone's watching us, I assume. Then he's leaning in, staring me down, his voice pitched low. I feel like he's trying to find a weak spot, a kink in my non-existent armor.
I have a twin, you know. It could have been him, but I guess it depends on what you saw.
He raises his brow. I can't tell if he's playing around or if he's threatening me. The fact he seems unperturbed that I just told him I had a magical vision is less than comforting. The Castor twins, you're one of them. The not missing one.
My name is Blue. And yeah, I'm the not missing one. Very observant of you.
Wow. Blood, you were covered in blood when I saw you. As if his face wasn't pale enough already, his skin drops a few shades, but quicker than he blanches. He finds his composure and has the gall to laugh in my face.
Did Sinclair put you up to this?
Penny? No, I haven't told her a thing. Blue surveys me again, a little harder this time, his gaze cutting deep.
What else did you see?
Shake my head, and Blue scoffs, rolling his bright eyes.
Just fan-fucking-tastic.
I don't know.
This is all I need. As if I don't already have enough on my plate, you give me this, too.
I don't know who you are. I stare at him and try to figure out exactly who he's talking to. It certainly isn't me, and it certainly isn't anyone else I can see. That The thought has the hairs on the back of my neck rising. Do you want to tell me what's going on here? You're apparently not at all shocked about what I thought was a pretty outlandish claim, and I'm feeling pretty damn lost. Blue downs his drink and one grimacing as he swallows it. He hisses through the clenched teeth and stands up quick and dramatic enough that he startles me and everyone else in our vicinity. Then he's reaching into his coat, fumbling for something. He pulls out a crumpled piece of paper and pen, leaning on the bar as he scribbles something down. His fingers are stained with ink. I wonder that if I stare long enough, if the black will turn red. He shoves the paper into my hands. It has an address on it in Greek and English. Church of Shadows. I'm just gonna read that part.
Find me here tomorrow night. And don't tell anyone, especially not Sinclair. Got it?
Sure. How do I know I can trust you? I think about what Adrian said about not trusting anyone here, especially if they smile at you. Blue scoffs and sticks his hands in his pocket, his shoulders hunched like he's trying to make himself look smaller. An impossible feat for a guy as tall as him. And while he certainly isn't smiling, I can't decide if this is a good or bad sign. Everything else about this situation points to the latter.
The last thing you have to worry about is trust right now.
Are you sure? He pauses and tilts his head, his bright eyes dragging over me.
I didn't catch your name, did I?
I don't want to tell you my name. It's Liv, told him. He narrows his eyes again, and I consider buying the city out of all of its crosses. Holy water, too.
Tomorrow night. Be there when the lights dim.
Okay. I stuff the paper into my pocket. And you'll tell me what's going on? I lean a little closer. My voice is as low as it can go with all of this noise. You'll tell me what's happening to me?
Oh, they'll tell you.
They?
It doesn't rain here in paradise. It only pours. Welcome to Styx.
The bastard has the gall to offer me a dangerous, wicked smirk.
Sweet dreams.
And then he's gone, and with him goes my headache. It's like a weight has been lifted, the pressure turned off. Welcome to Styx indeed. Very, very interesting. I couldn't recall why I downloaded this demo. It's just something I like to do, is find demos. And very interesting that he is the only character that has a voice in this game. I definitely could see myself playing this. I haven't quite made out what is going on, but I definitely find it interesting. So, what do you think of the game? Is Call Me Under something that interests you? I like choice-based games. There wasn't too much choices, but I feel like maybe in the longer version of the game, there might be. So, thank you for watching. If you like this video, let me know. Comment and let me know what you think of it so far. Is this a game you're interested in? Subscribe to my YouTube channel and you can find other demos and games that I play through. And I upload them here. I usually stream a lot of the games that I play. So if you want to watch live, you can follow me on Twitch. I'm obuyer10 there as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.